you are someone that is to be experienced. That is how I would describe this energy. It's an experience. Your energy and being around you is it's like a treat, I want to say. Like, that's what I'm hearing. Like, it's like a treat. And your energy is really felt. Your energy is so important. And a lot of times you get called to go certain places and you don't understand why. This is why, because your energy is necessary to help this place kind of bloom, blossom. And even people, like your encounters with people is truly a blessing. And this is not about ego or just like being a narcissist. Like, this is somebody who doesn't even really truly realize all the way how powerful their energy is and how important it is and how much of an impact that you make onto this world. And that's because a lot of people don't tell you. Like, people don't tell you in your real personal life how much of an impact that you have on them and how important your energy is and how you just leave a little fairy dust, a little glitter, just a little treat everywhere you go. It's very beautiful energy. It's definitely very like angelic. You are a gem. Like, if I just have so many positive things to say about whoever this is, you are somebody, like I said, to be experienced. And when you leave places, you take your energy with you, and people can feel that when you go places and you're around people and you touch things and you start creative projects, and it doesn't matter if it's been years, your energy is always there. Your energy is always felt. You truly leave a mark on people's hearts. You're the type of person who will have your enemies like really feeling bad and like feeling some type of way and wanting to reach out to you and apologize, because years later that energy you got just lingers. Like, you just linger in people's hearts. Like, I just want to look at your birth chart. You linger in people's hearts and it stays there. It's like really permanent, and you linger in people's heads because that's just the type of energy that you have. Like, man, whoever this is, your aura is like truly golden, okay? And you don't take advantage of that. You don't use that for bad. And you could use this for bad, but you don't. You continue to use it for good, and you just kind of just go around floating through life and leaving your spark everywhere. And it's very, very beautiful. Definitely reminds me of my daughter's energy. So you could be a fire sign even, but you don't have to be. But it just reminds me of her energy. She's like a little fairy who just touches everybody everywhere she goes, and people just love her. So I just feel like you have the energy of like, people love you. Even if they hate you, they love you. And you got people in regret, okay? You have people from the past who are regretting how they treated you because they know, even though at the time they convinced themselves that you were the problem and they were doing the right thing and it wasn't a big deal. God is like, no. He's gonna make sure they check themselves when it comes to you, and they sit there and think about how they treated you. And that doesn't mean you're perfect, okay? It doesn't mean you've never done any wrong, but you're not the type of person to just like intentionally just do malicious things to people. That's not you, but you are the type of person that has had a lot of malicious things done for no reason. Now, you may have retaliated against these people. You're not like a little punk. You're going to speak up for yourself sometimes. You're going to retaliate sometimes. You're going to exercise that throat chakra, okay? I'm not saying like you just a little weakling and people are just stepping on you. No, I'm just saying you do things with good intentions, and that shows in your life because you're blessed, okay? That really shows. And it shows in the way that people will sit and they'll really ponder on the relationship that y'all had, and you make people like, you do the impossible, okay? You make people who been in that devilish energy for years. Like, you make people who just been the same way their entire life and have never changed for no one. You make people change, even if it's years from now, because you just have that energy, that angelic energy. Like, you make people check themselves, and it's intentional. And that's why your energy is so important. And you may feel like, man, I've been hurt a lot in this life. I have gone through a lot of adversities in this life. Maybe you're somebody who has moved around a lot. Like, you've had to move different places. Whatever the situation is, just know, as hard as it may be to grasp this, these things were divinely orchestrated. And the only thing you can really do is look above these situations and look at what you gain from it and not just what you lost. And look at it like you have the ability to change the world. You have the ability to change people. You have the ability to take the devil and turn them into an angel. Like, that's just what I'm thinking. Like, you do the impossible, man. Like, whoever you are, you're awesome. You got great energy. And I want you to take this time, as amazing it is that you bless people, places, and things. Go inward right now and really try to use that energy for yourself. Love on yourself. Do some self-care. Buy yourself something nice. Just treat yourself and give that love to yourself, because if you have the power to change people who don't change for nobody, can you imagine what you can do if you put that energy into yourself? I made a post the other day and it had a couple people triggered, per usual. I talked about how the empath and the healer needs to stop trying to heal everybody and just heal themselves. And people are like, oh, but what if I feel called to do it? What if it just is, this is my purpose? And what if this is my mission? And I just couldn't help but laugh, because I've been there. I've been there. I know that feeling of like, this is what I'm meant to do. I gotta heal people. I gotta help people. I've been there, y'all. Like, I truly have. But at some point, you evolve beyond that and you understand that you healing yourself, you loving yourself, is healing the world. It is loving other people. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you spend your whole life and make it your mission to try to heal people who may not even be receptive to your healing, you're going to destroy yourself and you're going to end up miserable and full of resentment, because you spent so much time giving out so much love to people who were not willing to reciprocate that. You got to understand that nobody has to reciprocate your love. Nobody has to give you back what you give them. That's not realistic. We're talking about humans. Humans are very selfish and they don't see what they have until it's gone. So you may have given a lot of love, but do not expect it back. So I would say to those people who just feel like it's their life mission to save the world, you are nobody's savior, okay? I understand that energy. That's beautiful. That's angelic. That's healing. That's great. But understand, you walking in your purpose, you being yourself, you loving yourself and healing yourself is going to do so much more for this world than you trying to just go heal everyone else. Do not leave yourself behind, because what you're doing is you're taking that beautiful, loving, healing power that God gave you and you're giving it away. God did not give that to you to just give away. He gave that to you so you can strengthen that gift and use it for your highest good. Because if you're really a healer, you don't got to do nothing. Like I said, whoever I'm talking to, whoever this message is for, you the type of person, you just walk in. You don't got to do anything. The work you've done on yourself, the aura and the energy that you're emitting out, when you walk into places, that's felt. You just walking in the room is like you're changing people's lives. You walking into businesses and purchasing stuff with businesses and having conversations with people on the street and just being around animals and children. That is changing people's lives. But if you're giving it all away, you're lowering your own vibration, you're not able to do anything. Okay, real healers, we don't have to do much. We just walk in because that is the energy we have. Okay, so if you're still in that part of your empath journey where you're just like, no, this is what God has called me to do, I promise you there's going to come a time where you're going to be forced to grow a backbone, because you cannot do the work you need to do, focus on everybody else. This is not a journey of everybody else. This is a journey of self. This is a self-discovery. This is a self-love journey. Know thyself, okay? And protect yourself. And part of doing that is putting yourself first, okay? The healers and the empaths, we have to be a little bit selfish. We have to be a little bit, because we're naturally so selfless and we have these big hearts and we're like, come on in, everybody. There's room for everybody. And then one day you're like, man, I did too much. I'm drained and I didn't leave any space for me. Okay, so don't put yourself in that position. Okay, I understand that, but like I said, you are somebody who you just have it. That's just who you are naturally. And I love that about you. And the best thing that you can do right now is pour into you, okay? Pour into yourself, and you're going to feel bad about it because you're probably somebody who has people-pleasing tendencies, but you have to be broken of that. Just like a little side story, when I started my healing journey and my spiritual journey, people always ask me this, which is why I'm saying it in this video. When I started my spiritual journey and my healing journey, I cut everybody off, and I didn't even know why I felt called to do it. I just did. And I was like on my selfish stuff. I don't want you around me. I need to lock in with myself. And I really isolated myself and went into like a hermit mode to find myself. That triggered a lot of people because I'm someone who's always been very giving, very loving, very just understanding. I had people-pleasing tendencies. I just was like, I'm the shoulder to cry on. And I always put myself last. And I know for a fact God put me through that isolation journey so I could wake up like, hey, Sydney, like you have given so much to this world. What about you? And I was somebody who was doing that for years. And not to be stuck in the past, but I just want to tell you guys that so you can take that as an example of why it's important for you to pour into you. Because who I was before and who I am now, like the old me is not touching the new me. Like she could never, okay? And that's because I learned to put me first, okay? Me having that isolation period also led me to understand what part of my purpose was, which was using my voice, which led me to YouTube where I'm talking to you. So I would not have been able to do that if I was still somebody who felt like I had to just be everything for everyone and nothing for me, and I was still a people pleaser. No, I had to lose myself to find myself, and me just on here using my voice and just exercising that throat chakra and just being myself, the almost healed version of me, I was able to touch a lot of people, okay? Naturally, okay? Because I have that energy. Remember that to my healers and my empaths and my people who know the power that they have naturally, put yourself first, okay? And watch who you become.